Breaking news, a jury just returned a guilty verdict in the brutal carjacking that killed 73-year-old Linda Fricke last year. Good evening, I'm Lee Zurich.
And I'm Lauren McCoy. Jurors unanimously convicted 18-year-old John Honore of second-degree murder. And we just heard from Linda Fricke's family and the district attorney.
Maddie Kurth and David Jones are live at criminal court with the breaking details.
Lee and Lauren, that unanimous vote is in this one-day trial, ultimately deciding the fate of John Honore. Now, this all started with John Honore's defense attorney admitting that his client was guilty, but he hoped that his argument that his client was a, quote, idiot kid would be enough for the jury to show some mercy in his conviction. Now, the Fricke family surrounded the steps of the courthouse after the verdict was announced. It was an intense day at the courthouse. The district attorney's office walking the jury through each step of John Honore's alleged involvement in Linda Fricke's death, showing graphic images of the injuries Fricke sustained when Honore got behind the wheel and dragged her 700 feet into a wire, severing her arm. Now remember, Honore is the final teen to face conviction. Last week, Renaya Baker, Laniera Theophile, and Markel Curtis all pled guilty to the lesser charge of attempted manslaughter. They each face a 20-year prison sentence as part of the deal. But the family says Linda Fricke would be smiling down on them now, celebrating the news and proud that they stood by her for more than 18 months. They say they want Honore and the three accomplices to feel every second of their sentence.
To even walk here today and still hear the plea of innocence was insulting. I hope he feels the fear that she had in her heart that day. I hope he feels the pain. And when he hears his own self screaming for mercy and it don't come.
Linda is smiling down, and I actually brought my parents to court today.
And they were.
And they were happy for Linda. I brought my parents with me. So, I'm sure they're all singing in heaven right now, and we're singing down here, so we're happy.
A sentencing date has been set for January 12th, 2024. Honore will face a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Now, just moments before the verdict was read, Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams arrived to the court. And David, he stood in solidarity with the Fricke family, saying that today justice was served.
Maddie, that's right. Orleans Parish District Attorney Jason Williams striking a somewhat defiant, somewhat emotional tone in his remarks, standing shoulder to shoulder with dozens of members of Fricke's family. He addressed the defense's points in their closing arguments. The defense tried to make the point that Williams, in his campaign, promised never to try juveniles as adults, and yet here he is. Williams made the counterpoint that some lines are just too egregious to cross, this one being one of them. He said Orleans Parish needs to address lots of issues, starting as well with truancy. He said that if these teens had not been in school, or had been in school rather, that this never would have happened. Let's take a listen now to just a moment of what he said.
What Mrs. Fricke went through, no human being should ever go through. I think the defense argued that there was no gun. A gun would have been more humane. You heard what happened. We couldn't show all the pictures. Matt was very clear that he was not going to traumatize this jury. I mean, this family will never be the same. This jury will never be the same because of the images that will be seared in their minds forever. And every stomp, every kick, every punch, every macing, every yard of the 2 football fields he drove was a choice.
And the family tonight also thanking the DA, thanking the courts as well for keeping them up to date throughout this entire process and vowing to stick with it and to continue advocating for crime victims in Orleans Parish. Reporting live in front of Criminal District Court, I'm David Jones, Maddie Kurth. Send it back to you guys.
Think about what he said. What that guy
Where
said.
a jury is now deliberating in the murder trial of John Honore. He's accused in the brutal carjacking and dragging death of Linda Fricke last year.
Yeah, the case went to the jury about an hour ago, and the trial that started this morning. Chris Welty is live from criminal court.
Lee, Meg, yes, a verdict could be reached at any moment. Now, we're told that the jury has come back and asked the judge for written directions, written definitions, asking for definition of second-degree murder, manslaughter, and negligent homicide. The judge did provide the jurors with those definitions with no objection from the state or the defense. Now, today was a very emotional day for the Fricke family and John Honore's family. In the courtroom, prosecutors said this trial would be quick. The district attorney's office outlining graphic details to the jury. The DA's office says in March 2022, John Honore, along with 3 accomplices, approached Linda Fricke's car on Bienville Street. After a failed attempt due to passing cars, a masked Honore pepper sprayed and dragged Fricke out of her car, stomped her, and beat her before she was dragged over 700 feet. Fricke's arm was severed, and prosecutors say she was skinned alive. The state calling the act merciless.
We want to make sure that we get what Linda deserves, and that's the ultimate justice.
Honore's DNA allegedly was found on an earbud collected from Fricke's vehicle. The defense admitted John Honore committed the crime, but says he was young and immature. Honore's attorney says he has remorse and referenced a letter he wrote to the Frickes. In that letter, Honore apologizes and calls what happened that day, quote, the biggest mistake of my life. Honore says he now prays daily and asks for forgiveness.
Oh, man.
Honore's mother testified that she went to police and identified her son after a photo of him was broadcasted on the news. She said she feels bad knowing he could receive a life sentence. Meanwhile, Honore's father was removed after an outburst.
That I'm standing behind my son and he did nothing and he's innocent.
The jury saw
He did nothing.
He did nothing.
He a good kid. It's all relative. You fell asleep, but what that judge said was horseshit.
What did the judge say?
The judge apparently made a campaign promise to never try a juvie as an adult. Think about how dumb that is, considering what was going on out there with these juvies.
Considering the color of the juvies in New Orleans.
Right. I mean, it's unacceptable. And the fact that he won, think about what else he must have said. But the fact that he won says everything you got to know about that place.
I know, man. This is one of the fathers. This is a voter. This is a voter, man. Think about if a white kid's dad, the white kid's dad's always like, I forgive you. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the first day, right?
Like the first hour.
Yeah, like as soon as they talk to the white dad, he's already forgiven.
He's not even pronounced yet.
And this dude right here, he talking about my son has done nothing, even though he's on camera doing something.
Honore's father was removed after an outburst.
You know what, though, Chief, man?